to focus on sexual harassment. And to do that, we partnered with Captain Marvel herself, Brie Larson.
Thank you so much for coming and chatting with us here at Yahoo. Van, I want to start with you to talk a little bit about the messy truth and turning this into a VR experience.
Working with Elijah, I just felt, is there some way we can use technology not to divide us, but to bring us together? Can the technology be used in a better way so we can understand each other? We don't have to agree. We can vote against each other. We shouldn't hate each other and just completely be bewildered by each other. And Elijah said, yeah, technology can do that.
What are you doing later?
Hopefully having drinks with you, Gina. You say the word, I'll bring the rosé.
So obviously, Brie, with that episode, I wanted to just talk a little bit about what drew you to the project as a whole. And then with that episode in particular, what about it resonated with you?
You know, what's so interesting is when Elijah and I first spoke, it was, I think our first ever conversation was about empathy. And I realized that I could take what I was already doing a step further with this project. I make movies to be an empathy machine. I believe that when you're sitting in a theater, it doesn't matter how many friends or family members you're with, you are alone and you become one with whoever it is you're watching. And I found it to be a true marker when films are getting watched, when they're successful, when they're being talked about.
As we proceeded to do this, there's all these different aspects that we started learning from, especially as we started talking with Brie about doing this last episode about sexual harassment. Immediately when we talked, she said, you need to talk with ROC United, which is one of the restaurant workers unions. And what I learned there just blew my mind.
I was gonna say, Brie, I know that with this project on your Instagram, your social media, of course, and then even launching a YouTube channel, you talk to using each of those outlets to talk about social activism.
Yeah, it's just always been part of my life. And I guess somehow I just never really believed that I was just supposed to like shut up and act. Like it just didn't make sense to me. And I'm fully aware that because of the privilege that I have, I can get a lot of people on the phone. I can talk to a lot of different activists. I can DM someone and say, hey, can you talk to me about this? And so I've been educated in a way that I want to share. And that's part of why things like this project, even the privilege of being able to speak with you and do an interview about this, recognizing that every step of the way, there's ways that I can constantly remind myself that my position, there's no scarcity in it. There's abundance, and I want to share it and highlight and bring light wherever I can.
And so with this project in particular, I mean, VR, I feel like is the magic part of that, of, we're no longer, it's not dividing because it's not just somebody speaking to somebody or speaking at somebody. So how important was it to really just consider how you put this project together and make sure that it was something that people would be willing to step into and that it wasn't something that maybe further divided people?
The truth has a way of uniting people. In other words, we didn't trick it up. Oh, Leah, let's have the person call him the N-word and then throw a... No, it was literally just what happened. And just you saw step by step how this dad was being, just mistreated and misseen in front of his son. And that's all. And any parent can understand how terrible that would be for your kid and for yourself. And then that's it. It actually happened. Or, the situation, with a worker who's, just trying to get her evaluation. How am I doing my job? And suddenly, creepy McCreepster comes in and turns into something totally different. And most men have never had that situation where there's some guy leaning in and reaching out. And to have that experience, I think guys will treat it differently. For me, getting the Emmy nomination was a trip because we're like so scrappy, we're so scrappy, and like begging, borrowing, like please, baby, please, and stuff, trying to make it happen, and then and then for it to get that kind of acknowledgement, it's just amazing.
I mean, the first one was funded by a group called 6cc Media. A guy named Michael Dutton just came out and just took us from nothing to something. And all of a sudden we had something. In the next episode, Riot, the team at Riot stepped up. Zeta and Josh Gold and Eric Day, all these guys just came in, and our friends Hutch Parker and Scott Friedman, these guys just believe. Like there's no clear path of how anyone's gonna make their money back or what we're gonna do, but they see the potential and they see the heart of what we're trying to do. And that's what I think, just to clarify, that's what Van means by scrappy, is that we really, we're doing our best to just trying to get this out there.
We got an Emmy nomination! Yeah!